My boss tried to ruin my life. Now he's jobless, broke, and facing prison time. He tried to ruin my life. So I destroyed his entire career. Smiling face with horns fire. I never thought I'd be the type of person to completely ruin someone's life. But when you push a good person too far, there's no telling what they'll do. This story isn't about petty revenge. This isn't about getting back at someone in a small way. No, this is about taking someone who thought they were untouchable and making sure they lost everything: job, respect, future, everything. Let me start from the beginning. I used to work at a mid-sized tech company. It wasn't a dream job, but I liked it well enough. Decent pay, good coworkers, and I was on track for a promotion. Everything was going great, until him. Let's call him Greg. Greg was one of those people who thrived on making other people miserable. He wasn't just a bad boss, he was a straight-up bully. He loved power. Loved controlling people. And if he saw someone doing well, he had to find a way to bring them down. Unfortunately, I became his next target. The setup. At first, it was little things. He'd take credit for my work in meetings. He'd conveniently forget to invite me to important emails or calls. But then, it escalated. He started telling our boss that I was underperforming. That I was slacking off. I had proof that none of this was true, but it didn't matter. Greg was close with the higher-ups, and his word carried weight. One day, out of nowhere, I got called into HR. "We've received complaints about your behavior," the HR rep said. "Greg says you've been missing deadlines and not being a team player." I was stunned. That's not true at all. Every project I've worked on has been completed early. HR gave me a fake, sympathetic smile. "We understand, but we have to take these complaints seriously. Consider this a formal warning." I left that meeting knowing one thing: Greg was trying to get me fired. I had two choices. Let this happen and watch him destroy my career. Fight back. I chose the second. And I was going to make sure Greg never messed with anyone again. The plan. I spent weeks collecting evidence. Every email, every Slack message, every time he tried to sabotage me, I kept records. But I needed more. So I started digging into Greg himself. What I found was gold. Greg was faking his credentials. His resume claimed he had a degree from a prestigious university. A quick call to their admissions office? Yeah, they'd never heard of him. He was committing fraud. I found expense reports where he was funneling money into personal accounts. Fake invoices, double billing, he was stealing from the company. He was harassing employees. I started talking to coworkers, especially the women. Turns out, Greg had a long history of inappropriate behavior. But no one ever reported it because they were too scared. I had everything I needed. Now, it was time to strike. The execution. I started by anonymously submitting the financial fraud to the company's internal audit team. Within a week, finance was looking into him. Then, I sent the fake degree proof to the company's CEO. It didn't take long for them to confirm that Greg lied his way into the job. And finally, I encouraged my coworkers to come forward about his harassment. One by one, people started talking. HR couldn't ignore it anymore. The moment of truth came when Greg was called into a surprise meeting with HR, legal, and upper management. He walked in thinking he was untouchable. He walked out jobless. The aftermath. Greg was fired on the spot. No severance. No recommendations. And to make things worse for him, the company filed charges for embezzlement. But it doesn't stop there. News got out in the industry. Nobody would hire him. His entire career, gone. I heard through the grapevine that his wife left him when she found out what he had been doing. Last I checked, he was unemployed, drowning in legal fees, and desperately trying to restart his life. As for me? Well, I got promoted. Greg thought he could destroy me. Instead, I completely erased him. Top 3 comments. Greg really thought he was invincible, huh? Stealing from the company, lying about his degree, harassing employees, and sabotaging innocent workers? Dude wasn't just asking for karma, he basically begged for it. And OP delivered. Beautiful. You didn't just get revenge, OP, you handed him a one-way ticket to rock bottom. No job, no reputation, no future. The best part? He did it to himself. If he had just left you alone, he'd still have a job. Absolute chef's kiss. The fact that HR ignored everything until OP basically dropped a nuke is so frustrating. But man, seeing Greg's empire crumble? So satisfying. The guy went from "I'm untouchable" to "please hire me, I swear I'm qualified" real fast. Final update, Greg's life just got even worse. And I'm not even done yet. I thought Greg's downfall was complete. I thought I had delivered the final blow. But no. Greg wasn't just going to lose. He was going to be destroyed. I had no idea how deep his corruption went. Remember how Greg was caught stealing from the company? Turns out, that was just the tip of the iceberg. The legal team started digging into his finances, and what they found? Oh, it was so much worse than anyone could have imagined. Turns out, Greg wasn't just faking his credentials and embezzling company funds, he had been running a full-blown scam for years. The secret side business that ruined him forever. Greg had been laundering money through fake consulting gigs, double-dipping on contracts, and forging expense reports to funnel cash into personal accounts. And get this, he even stole client data and tried selling it on the side. When this came to light, the company didn't just fire him. They sued him. And when the FBI got involved? Yeah. It wasn't just a corporate lawsuit anymore. Greg got arrested. I woke up one morning to my phone blowing up with messages. Everyone at my old job was talking about it. Greg had been taken into custody. Handcuffed, shoved into a squad car, and driven off like a common criminal. The charges? Fraud. Identity theft. Wire fraud. Embezzlement. We're talking years behind bars if he gets convicted. But here's where it gets even better. His wife exposed him even more. After Greg lost his job, his wife was already fed up. But once she found out he was under investigation, she left immediately. Filed for divorce, took half of everything he had left, and then, oh, this is my favorite part, she went full revenge mode. Apparently, she found even more dirt on him. Emails. Fake accounts. Secret money transfers. And she turned it all over to the investigators. Greg's own wife helped put him away. The ultimate downfall. As of now, Greg is jobless, broke, divorced, facing federal charges. A complete outcast in the industry. I heard from a coworker that he tried applying for a minimum wage job just to stay afloat, and got rejected. Nobody wants to touch him. And me? Let's just say, I'm doing very well. I got promoted. I got a raise. I moved to a better company with zero toxic people. And every time I think back to how Greg tried to ruin me, I just smile. Because in the end, he played a stupid game. And he won the grand prize. Top 3 comments. Greg fumbled his entire existence. Like, he could have just been a regular bad boss, but nope, he went for full-scale fraud, got caught, lost everything, and now might actually end up in prison. If karma was a sport, OP would be in the Hall of Fame. The fact that his own wife was the one to deliver the final blow? That's legendary. Imagine being so terrible that your own spouse goes, "Yeah, let's make sure you never recover from this." Greg deserves every bit of this downfall. 3. Man went from power-hungry corporate bully to "please hire me for minimum wage" real fast. I bet he's sitting there thinking, how did this happen? Bro, it happened because you messed with the wrong person.